DREAM Act. Historic event, the Chinese Exclusion Act. The Chinese Exclusion Act ties in with my topic because the Chinese Exclusion Act was the first immigration act passed. This act was keeping immigrants away, and now it has changed into developing acts like the DREAM Act to let immigrant children have an education and stay in the U.S. What was the Chinese Exclusion Act? In the spring of 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act was passed by Congress and signed by President Chester A. Arthur. This act provided an absolutely 10-year moratorium on Chinese labor immigration. For the first time, federal law prescribed entry of an ethnic working group on the premise that it endangered the good order of certain localities. The Chinese Exclusion Act was the first immigration act passed. Current event, California DREAM Act. The California DREAM Act ties in with my topic because it is somewhat the same as the DREAM Act. The California DREAM Act, however, just allows immigrant students to receive financial aid for college rather than receiving residency in the U.S. The California DREAM Act. AB 130 makes financial aid from private sources available to the same pool of students. AB 131 will make this limited pool of students eligible to apply for Cal Grants and other state aid. The two laws are collectively known as the California DREAM Act. AB 130 became effective January 1, 2012. AB 131 will become effective January 1, 2013.
Academically deserve to have an opportunity for higher education in this country. It is, in fact, the American dream. The dream is an American dream, and just a few years ago, we never anticipated that a little black boy from Illinois could overcome a Herculean challenge to become, for the first time that the earth has ever known, the president of the free world. His name is Barack Obama, and the same dream that he has achieved, you can and you will as well.
Members, thank you so very much. I ask for an aye vote.
All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Close the roll, tally the vote. Ayes 51, noes 21. The measure passes.
Arguments over the DREAM Act. There are many arguments over the DREAM Act. The arguments are over passing the DREAM Act or not. The following are a couple of major arguments that always come up with this issue. Students didn't know they were undocumented. Some problems that come up with this issue is that these students broke the law in coming to the U.S. On the other hand, these students were just children that didn't know they were crossing the border.
You know, I get letters from kids all across the country. Came here when they were 5. Came here when they were 8. Their parents were undocumented. The kids didn't know.
I started talking to my mom and I said, oh wow, this is really exciting, you know. My 18th birthday, I'm going to be, you know, a legal adult. Like, I never did get around to getting a driver's license. I should do that. I want to apply for a passport and, you know, go on a trip maybe. And I want to register to vote. And, you know, with a lot of hemming and hawing and, you know, dodging the question, you know, she eventually just told me that I can't do that, that we're not here legally. We don't have documentation. I can't get any of these things. I just thought, okay, I can go down to City Hall and take a test, and this test will make you American instantly.
They come to 18, 19 years old, and they realize, even though I feel American, I am an American, the law doesn't recognize me as an American. I'm willing to serve my country, I'm willing to fight for this country. I want to go to college and better myself, and I'm at risk of deportation.
Van a ser doctores, abogados, maestras, maestros, trabajadores sociales, psicólogos. I graduated in 2005 from high school, and I wanted to get into college. I wanted to join the military, and those options weren't. I couldn't do any of that, and so it's frustrating. The fact that I want to give back. I'm willing to serve this country in military service, and I don't even have the option to do so. When you're shooting down people's dreams, that's bad, and it's bad for everyone, not just immigrants.
The DREAM Act being a handout. Many people against the DREAM Act refer to it as a handout. What they mean by the DREAM Act being a handout is that it is basically a free pass for people to stay in the U.S.
If they want a president who's going to talk to them about a handout or more benefits for free, they got that guy.
No. Eso no estoy de acuerdo con eso.
Los inmigrantes no vienen aquí buscando cosas gratuitas.
Saw how immigrants, changed this nation, for the better, of Irish, of Polish, of Italian descent, how they were able to shape, for most, very much change this nation for the better and make this country better. We are no different than the immigrants of the past.
Immigrants taking citizen jobs. Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach said, "We need a president who will finally put a stop to a problem that has plagued our country for a generation. Millions of illegal aliens coming into the country and taking jobs from United States citizens and legal aliens, while consuming hundreds of billions of dollars in public benefits and tax-paying expenses."
There's 11 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Those could be American jobs. Those could be tax-paying jobs.
I haven't seen any American here, working here in the field.
Sergio Guerrero came into this country illegally through the Southern California desert. He makes $1.90 for every box of strawberries he fills. And now, in an effort to employ out-of-work Americans, and obviously to prove a point, the United Farm Workers Union is inviting American citizens to take the jobs of these farm workers. If a farmer came up to you and said, "I want a job here as a farm worker," what would you say to them?
No.
Why is that?
Because I don't do that. I don't even do gardening in my own house.
If I had a job that got me out there and got me some exercise but no heavy lifting, and it was at least $11 and up, I would take it. But I doubt that. It's usually a lot of heavy lifting and doesn't pay too much.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics U.S. Department of Labor found that there were 3.5 million job openings on the last business day of February. What is the DREAM Act? The Development, Relief, and Education of Alien Minors Act, also called the DREAM Act, is to help those individuals who meet certain requirements, have an opportunity to enlist in the military or go to college, and have a path to citizenship, which they otherwise would not have without this legislation. Supporters of the DREAM Act believe it is vital not only to the people who would benefit from it, but also the United States as a whole. It would give an opportunity to undocumented immigrant students who have been living in the U.S. since they were young a chance to contribute back to the country that has given so much to them, and a chance to utilize their hard-earned education and talent. Requirements: must have entered the United States before the age of 16. Must have been present in the United States for at least 5 consecutive years prior to enactment of the bill. Must have graduated from a United States high school, or have obtained a GED, or have been accepted into the institution of higher education, or enlist in one of the branches of the United States military. Must be between the ages of 12 and 35 at the time of application. Must have good moral conduct. Within 6 years of approval for conditional permanent residency, the individual must have completed at least 2 years of one of the options outlined in the previous step. Once 5.5 years of the 6 years have passed, the individual will then be able to apply for legal permanent residency, dropping the conditional part, and consequently will be able to apply for United States citizenship. Those who have already completed at least 2 years of college education towards a bachelor's degree or higher degree will still have to wait the 5.5 years in order to apply for legal permanent residency, even though you may have already obtained a degree. My solution. My solution for this issue would be to just inform people about both sides of the act. Since people in office are already doing their best to pass it, there really isn't anything else to do other than to inform the people what they can benefit from this.